Let's talk about some of the myths that I learned at Marine OCS that actually turned out to not be true and pleasantly surprised me for better or worse. The first one, the myth is that they yell at you all the time. They're going to yell at you about 80% of the time, but you're going to be surprised by how much classroom instruction you're going to get where the instructors are just teaching a PowerPoint, you're taking notes down. Towards the end of OCS, as the company gets more proficient at running themselves, you're actually going to be getting yelled at a little bit more by your fellow candidates than you are the sergeant instructors. Just know that the chaos will eventually get a little bit more controlled as you progress through the period of instruction. Second myth, you get dropped from OCS if you do anything wrong or you fail something right away. There's actually a lot of opportunity to correct your deficiencies at OCS. If you fail a runtime on the E course or even the O course, you will actually be given chances to remediate that before they drop you from the entire OCS increment. There's a lot of things and a lot of mistakes that you're going to make along the way, and they're going to make it sound like it's the end of the world because you didn't do this one essay in time or this one test, or you didn't do this as well as you should have done on this fitness program or some of the other random activities that you're doing. But they will actually give you a chance to remediate. It takes a lot of effort to drop a candidate for substandard performance. They will absolutely still do it if you're not meeting the standard, but if for some reason you had a bad day because you rolled your ankle the day before and you weren't able to run as fast, they actually give you a chance to remediate it towards the end of the period of instruction. And not everything you do at OCS is a graduation requirement. Number 3, you never get to sleep at OCS. So technically on their schedule, if you pay attention to their schedule, once you're able to kind of get out your watch and use your watch in the nighttime, they do allocate 8 hours of sleep for you guys. However, you're going to be staying up because you have to make labels for your gear to put your last name on. You're going to have to write essays, and they're going to punish you in other ways. But in theory, if you are really, really good at organizing your gear, getting your essays done when you have the time available, or you're finding ways to do it a little bit under the radar, then in theory, by the time they call lights, and you could in theory fall asleep and get almost 7 to 8 hours of sleep on most nights. There were guys that did that. There were guys that were so good at knowing where all their stuff was, having their stuff already packed. They were really good at making their racks and just squaring themselves away, that by the time they called lights, they didn't need to get out of their rack to do any extra activities. They were able to actually just go to sleep and get a long night's rest. There will be times where you don't sleep that much because you're on Firewatch and other types of activities like that. But for the most part, there will be days where you get a decent amount of sleep at OCS. It's not just going to be total sleep deprivation the entire time. Number 4 is that they PT you all day, every day, and all the time. When I went through, the sergeant instructors actually never had us do direct PT for punishment for not making our rack correctly or not passing a uniform inspection. We had scheduled PT every single day, but every couple days we would get a recovery day. And a recovery day was where we got to stretch. They just called it stretch PT. It was basically yoga on the field. They would yell at us to get to the area where we would stretch, and then nobody would yell or talk to us while we were performing a yoga session for an hour. Number 5, you're gonna eat crappy food and it's just gonna taste like prison food. For some reason, please, other guys that have been through OCS, please let me know in the comments. Marine OCS had some of the best food in the chow halls that I've ever had across the fleet. I absolutely loved Bobo Chow Hall. I don't know what it is, their breakfast meals are really good. Even though you're scarfing it down in 10 seconds, right? And you're stuffing your face and trying to get out of the chow hall during OCS, the food actually tastes really good. And it might just be because you're burning calories and everything looks like it's gonna taste good when you're starving most of the time. But I would say the food quality of Bobo Chow Hall is really, really good. I would go as far as to say it's better than the food at TBS. So that's something that's a morale boost, and the sergeant instructors know that Bobo Chow Hall is a morale boost, so they usually will be extra hard on the guys right before they need to go to chow because it's going to accidentally boost their spirits a little bit because the food is good. I really enjoy the food. They constantly have chocolate milk, Gatorade, and other types of really good nutrients stocked up and ready for the companies most of the time. If you want to know more about OCS prep, Marine OCS prep, and even the whole ROTC, NROTC program, I have a course coming out this summer that you can check out, and I'll leave details to it in the description of this video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.